I'm a simple guy, never one to reach for the stars. A girl, a small apartment, maybe a kid someday. That's enough for me. But those things are still in the future, and well, the future is something that can always be adjusted, right? My world revolves around Avery, a stylish, beautiful woman with a taste for the finer things in life. She's always been drawn to expensive things. I could have bought a car earlier, but I held off until I got a promotion at work. With that raise, my salary went up, and naturally, so did my status. Avery, however, wasn't exactly thrilled about me having a car while she didn't. She made it very clear she wanted one too. Of course, common sense told me it was smarter to invest in one really good car rather than two old, worn-out ones. But as life often goes, things didn't unfold the way I expected. We ended up with a fully loaded car, cameras, a dashcam, every feature you could imagine. I was beyond excited and took it for a spin myself first. But then Avery needed it to visit her mom or something. A little while later, her cousin came to town. A month passed, and then, bam, surprise number one. The electronics went completely haywire. I had to take the car into the shop, where they fixed it up. But another month later, surprise number two hit. The hydraulics failed. Back to the service station we went. By this point, Avery was over it. With an exasperated pout, she pulled out her bank card and decided to escape to the nearest cafe for a coffee. She gave me a quick kiss on the cheek and vanished, leaving me alone to deal with the guys at the garage. Now, I'm not the type to hover around while mechanics do their work, but today felt different. Avery wasn't there to nag, and the mechanic on duty was surprisingly talkative. I got the chance to check out the wheel alignment, take a look at the hydraulics, and observe a bit more than usual. Then, out of nowhere, a guy climbed into the driver's seat. David, what the hell are you doing in the car? I called out, waving my arms to get his attention. He barely glanced at me, looking completely unbothered. Who's been messing with your wiring, huh? I shook my head. No one. I took it to a specialist. David muttered something under his breath and went right back to fiddling with the dashboard, like he was deeply invested in it. Then, suddenly, he jabbed a dirty finger toward the dashcam. Does this bother you? I squinted at the dashcam. Yeah. The light keeps flashing, I said, blinking my eyes to mimic it. And it squeaks sometimes. David frowned. And what's with the shooting in the cabin? Are they freaks or something? Or are you just filming for fun? I just stared at him. Shooting in the cabin? What was this guy even talking about? Honestly, why would I need a record of my daily drives? My routine was as predictable as it gets. Home to work, work to home. Nothing more, nothing less. David climbed out of the car and handed me the dashcam footage. Here, watch the movie while I finish up. Half an hour. I flopped down on a dusty couch and sent Avery a quick text, letting her know she had another 30 minutes to work on replenishing my bank account. Then I pressed play. The screen flickered, then went blank for a second. But when the video finally played, it turned out to be surprisingly interesting. In fact, I'd even call it an adult film, starring my wife. Why are you so red? David appeared beside me out of nowhere, leaning in close to the screen. His expression shifted as he pieced it all together. Then he swore loudly. Avery, I muttered, my voice tight. Right on cue, her voice cut through the tension from behind me. I turned to face her. What's the deal, huh? A star. Before I even realized what I was doing, my hand flew across her face. Then again, and once more after that. David stepped in, grabbing my arm. Listen, he said firmly. Harlot. She's a harlot. All right, but that's a sin on her soul. Don't do it, man. It ain't right to hit a woman. I froze. He had a point. Taking a step back, I exhaled sharply. Go to the apartment. Pack your stuff. Be gone in an hour. When I get back, I don't want to see you there. Got it? Avery nodded, wiping blood from her split lip. I didn't mean it, she murmured, guilt flickering in her eyes. Get out, I said coldly. Go anywhere you want, but I don't want to see you again. She hesitated for a second, then slipped through the garage gates, for the second time that day. David, my unexpected guardian angel, sighed and clapped a hand on my shoulder. How about a drink? I raised an eyebrow in surprise, but found myself smirking. Yeah, let's have a drink. He handed me a large bill. Now it's just me and you. Without another word, I slammed the gas and sped off, tearing through the city streets. An hour later, I was back home. Avery's stuff was gone. I figured I was starting fresh. A new life. A new beginning. A couple of days later, I noticed a folded note on the bedside table next to the couch. I didn't even bother reading it.